Cory.
And I'm Wallace.
And today we're just going to give you our thoughts on Thailand.
We are Cory and Wallace, an early retired couple on a full-time journey around the world. With a passion for exploring new cultures, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying delicious local food, we are on a mission to experience as much of the world as we can.
We lived there for 2 months, and I would say we have a pretty good sense of what we liked and what we didn't like.
And also, it wasn't our first visit to Thailand. We'd been there 7 years prior, so quite a bit of a gap in between. But yeah, I think overall, after having spent 2 months there, we've got a pretty good sense of the country and the pros and cons, at least insofar as we're concerned. So yeah, let's dive into it.
So the first thing we love are the people, hands down, no question. They're like the kindest, sweetest culture ever.
Yeah, super friendly, super helpful. Everyone's just very hardworking and just overall very lovely people. And I don't know, I know we say that about each of the places we've been, but maybe that's just a reflection of Southeast Asia in general versus North American culture. I don't know.
I would say, yeah, I'm not putting down the Western culture, but I think the Western culture is just a little bit more stressful overall, so people don't enjoy life as much as over here. I would say majority of the people are super happy, especially in Thailand. There was no hustle. Like you're not walking down the street getting sold to every 10 seconds, but which we have experienced in other Southeast Asian cultures. That was just a really nice break. But that being said, even with the hustle, the people over here in this part of the world just seem more friendly.
And yeah, I think I would agree with Cory there. I think ultimately people are genuinely happier than what we're used to seeing on a day-to-day basis in Canada. So I think that really has a lot to do with it. And that makes a huge difference to the quality of life and enjoyability of being in Thailand. Second thing that we love about Thailand, this will come as no surprise, the food.
Yeah, Thai food is one of my favorites. I had a little bit more difficulty, more so than I remember, especially with like pad Thai and stuff. They seem to put oyster sauce and soy sauce. I don't remember that from 7 years ago. I don't know if things have changed, but when I was able to eat the local food, I loved it.
Yeah, I love Thai food. I love a good pad Thai, a good pad see there's just so much delicious food, and there's such a range of food. So, if you want fine dining, it's available. If you want quick and dirty, cheap street food, that's available. It's all delicious. Even the shopping mall food courts, completely different than anything that we've ever encountered in Canada, different than anything in the United States even. You can go to a mall food court and get really good quality, freshly cooked, delicious, healthy meals for about $2 Canadian, which is just bonkers. I mean, for you Americans, that's like $1 and change. Absolutely, absolutely crazy.
And that's not just us saying that. When our cousin Jody, who joined us in Hua Hin, her mind was blown by the quality of the food court. She just like ran around trying to order from like all the vendors. It was really cute. Yeah. She's like, "What are you getting? I'm gonna get this so that I can try yours." It was adorable.
We ate at that food court almost daily. It was that good, that cheap, and yeah, it just, like I said, the food culture in Thailand is incredible.
Also, one thing to note is over in Southeast Asia, it's very uncommon to actually cook at home. It's more common for them to eat out by street vendors or going to the mall. At the end of the day, it ends up being cheaper for them. It's quicker, it's cheaper, it's healthier. So if you adopt that, it definitely rings true.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like just looking at the cost of food in general, it would be hard to be able to buy all the groceries you need to make that meal at home for that cheap. Absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing that we really loved, I would say it's one of the cleaner countries that we've been to in Southeast Asia. Hua Hin was exceptionally clean, and I think that's just a product of it being more, having more expats, like older gentlemen and stuff like that. But even Chiang Mai was clean as well. I never struggled with a bathroom ever, whereas in some of the other places I did. So that, I'm kind of ranking it on bathrooms. If
That's
the
fair,
bathrooms
yeah.
are clean, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's fair. Cleanliness, as far as public bathrooms is important. But yeah, overall, I'd say Thailand definitely ranks right up there. It's not as clean as, for example, Singapore, where we started our journey, but compared to Malaysia, compared to, Bali, compared to Cambodia, and here in Vietnam, where we currently are, I'd say overall, very clean. The streets are very clean in general, so no real complaints on that end.
Yeah. The next one, affordability. I think that comes as no surprise. That's the reason we're over here. We just live a better life overall here. We're able to afford better food. We're able to afford really nice accommodations. And we get to do things on the side, and it doesn't blow the budget. So
yeah, not that we couldn't afford, life in Canada. We were doing just fine, but now we can be retired and still enjoy a very high standard of living, very nice accommodations, good food at a fraction of the price we pay for something similar in North America. So bottom line, Thailand, even though the cost has gone up compared to a few years ago, just due to various factors, COVID, inflation, more tourism, that sort of thing, it is still very, very affordable here.
Songkran. Everybody, if you ever get a chance to participate in Songkran, I highly recommend doing it at least once in your lifetime. So much fun.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even express how much fun it was. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be. We were afraid it was going to be a little overwhelming and too many people for our tastes, but it was so much fun. We'll put a link to our video on Songkran down below if you haven't seen it already. But if you have the opportunity to be in Thailand in April during Songkran, definitely do it. It is something that should be experienced at least once. It is that awesome.
Another thing that we love, massages. Thai massages in particular, they're cheap, they're affordable, you can do them as often as you wanted. But I mean, if you wanted to go to a spa every day, it's not gonna break your bank. I think we paid on average $15 for an hour massage.
Yeah,
so.
what we were paying for a traditional Thai massage was usually around 350 Thai baht. I think we got it as cheap as 250 once, plus tip, of course. But honestly, you're spending 15 to 20 Canadian dollars for an hour-long massage, and that is better than anything available back home where we're from. Incredibly affordable, incredibly relaxing. They really get in there, with hands, knees, elbows, they're just digging and really loosening up those muscles and stretching and all this other stuff, and it's incredible. You feel great afterwards, and for the price, can't be beat.
No. Another thing that we really like is that there is a lot of culture to be explored. There's a lot of temples, there's a lot of history. That being said, there's also a lot of nature. There's just basically anything that you're looking for. Thailand has definitely got it.
Yeah, if you're looking for crazy, giant, world's largest outdoor markets, for the hustle and bustle. If you want peaceful, serene Buddhist temples. If you want, the Grand Palace is one of our favorite places we've ever been to. It's just absolutely stunning. But then you've got all the national parks, you've got beaches where you can snorkel, you can go scuba diving, you can go climb mountains, you can get out and climb waterfalls in Chiang Mai. It's just absolutely incredible.
And that being said, we didn't do any scuba diving or snorkeling on this trip. We have in the past. We've been down to Koh Tao, Koh Samui, and that area, and we did. And to this date, it's still one of the best diving we remember.
Yeah, I mean, there are better places in the world, I'm sure, but Koh Tao for scuba diving is world class, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, that's just a fairly short list of the things we love about Thailand. I'm sure there's a million more, but we do want to touch on just a few things that we weren't such big fans of. The number one thing, honestly, for both of us was the air quality.
I think that has something to do with the time of year that we went there. I think it was burning season, but they also had forest fires, so that was impacting things. But the whole time that we were in Hua Hin and in Chiang Mai, the smoke was insane.
Yeah.
Songkran did, like the first day of Songkran, it did rain, and that did knock down a lot of the pollution, so it wasn't so bad continuing forward. And once we started talking to the locals, they said that Chiang Mai is really bad during that time of year, and most of them leave Chiang Mai for like that, 2 months?
Not most, but those who can afford to will
Yeah.
basically get out of Chiang Mai for a couple months during that time of year. Because yes, it is horrible between crop burning season and just general weather and pollution. There's just a constant haze of smog and smoke, and air quality is amongst the worst in the world at that point. If you're tracking air quality index, it was absolutely horrible for a good chunk of that time. Not so much in Hua Hin, that was a little bit better most days, but even then you could see like the haze on the horizon. But like Cory said, it rained that first day of Songkran, and that drastically improved air quality for the rest of that stay. Up until that point, I don't think it had rained for like 2 or more months.
That being said, they unfortunately are getting too much rain, and they are flooding now. So we saw in the news lately that they're getting flooded out pretty hard. So rainy season may not be the best time to go to Thailand.
Agreed, yeah. We got pretty lucky overall with the weather and the time we were there, but that is something to be aware of. Next thing that was a little bit of a con for us is the traffic, especially in Bangkok. It wasn't so bad in Hua Hin, even in Chiang Mai where we had a little motorbike rented. I was able to manage just fine there, but Bangkok is crazy.
It is, but I mean, it's a big city. It's in Asia, so you expect the traffic to be crazy. It's just part of the culture.
Yeah.
I
mean,
roll with it.
in general, I think it took us about 45 minutes to get to the airport, which isn't too bad. But I have read accounts online where, if there's an accident or some sort of road closure, all of a sudden that can be a 3 or 4 hour journey from, downtown Bangkok to the airport. And even though you're planning to be there early, you might be like racing to the gate to make your flight. So things like that.
I don't think that's any different than like Vancouver or Toronto if there's an accident, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't ever recall being stuck in traffic that long. 7 years ago, we got stuck in pretty bad traffic going to the airport, and it was a little stressful.
Do you not remember that one time it snowed in Vancouver and your 7-minute journey was over 2 hours?
That's snow. That's pretty extreme. I mean, yeah.
just
Vancouver in the snow is absolutely stupid, you guys. If you can avoid Vancouver the first day it snows, being out on the streets, definitely. But anyways, that's a whole other story for another time. The other thing, traffic in general in Bangkok. That one day we were in a Grab taxi, and we got out and walked 4 kilometers because he was literally just stuck in the middle of an intersection. He'd started a turn, sitting kind of in the intersection,
Oh, yeah.
and it was just jammed. We didn't move for, it was at least 20 minutes, did not move an inch.
And it didn't look like it was going to move anytime soon.
So we got out and walked.
And I'm pretty sure we beat the traffic. We ended up having dinner, so by the time we were done, it was moving fine, but yeah.
We probably still would have been in traffic at that point if we hadn't gotten out. So
Yeah.
anyways, that is what it is.
And another thing to be aware of, it's a con for us. I don't know if it is for the average person, but it's really cash heavy. We like to use our credit cards wherever we can. It's a preferred method of payment for us. We understand that a lot of times they add the extra 3%,
Which we're okay with.
which we're totally fine with, but they all seem to have, or a lot of places seem to have a fairly high minimum for spending, which we hadn't run into prior to getting to Thailand. So that kind of just took us off guard because we tend not to carry too much cash with us, and we actually had to actively get cash a lot.
Yeah, like Cory said, we like to use credit cards to pay for things whenever possible because honestly, a lot of what we're doing on our travels has been paid for with miles and points that we've accumulated through credit card spending. A lot of the flights, a lot of the hotels have been paid for by spending on credit cards. So not being able to do that as much was a con for us, definitely not something we prefer. Also, because we're traveling long term, we don't carry large amounts of cash with us, so we use Wise, which does give us access to pretty good foreign exchange rates and the ability to take cash out at ATMs as we travel, but there are limits to how much cash we can take out for free with that, and we try to reduce our costs by not having to withdraw cash too often. So yeah, when we're in somewhere like Thailand where all of a sudden it was a little more cash intensive, that wasn't the ideal scenario for us.
Yeah,
But-
and the ATM fees are crazy. It's like $8 a transaction.
About $8 for each withdrawal from any of the machines, so about $5 I believe at the time is what that was, which also happens to be the highest ATM fees we've encountered anywhere. When we were in Malaysia, when we were in
Cambodia was $8.
Cambodia was $8, yeah, give or take. Malaysia, we
And
found
Bali.
banks that were free.
Bali was free.
Was free, and here in Vietnam, there's a couple different banks that we can use their ATMs and have zero fees, except for whatever your home bank is charging, which for us, again, with Wise, we get 2 free transactions a month. So, yeah, having to pay, $8 every time we wanted to take out, $350.
Yeah.
That's a pretty significant cost.
And we're not sponsored by Wise, but what we'll do is we'll put a link down below. If you're not using Wise and you're traveling, look into it. Honestly, it will save you so much money over time.
Yeah, the convenience and the amount of money it'll save you in foreign exchange fees is pretty awesome. So definitely look into it.
And I think that's like our immediate thoughts on Thailand.
Yeah.
We love Thailand overall. Our previous visit 7 years ago, it held up to our memory. So
Yeah, and I mean our list of cons is really minimal. We're really nitpicking. The air quality thing is our biggest one. Traffic and being cash intensive. We're really struggling to find things we don't like about Thailand because ultimately it is one of our favorite places in the world.
yeah, we'll definitely be back 100%.
Absolutely. So I think that pretty much does it. If we haven't convinced you yet that Thailand is awesome, please go back and watch our Thailand series, which I'm sure Cory will put in a link somewhere below or somewhere on the screen. I don't know which way it goes. But yeah, Thailand is amazing, and we highly recommend you guys check it out. So anyways, thanks very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this little recap on what we liked and didn't like about Thailand. And if you did, please hit the thumbs up to give us a like and make sure to subscribe.
And we hope that you'll join us in our next video for more adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring. And today we're going to talk about our thoughts on Thailand. We lived there for 2 months?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yes.